Because I have tickle babies, I could never have the luxury of wearing tight turtlenecks without looking like a walking shelf. This is a picture I took in a Uniqlo fitting room in Chicago. I left shortly after with a new pair of trousers and a new insecurity. Is it me, or are girls with big boobs becoming an endangered species? Because all of the trends that come out these days really do favor girls with smaller boobs. I don't know, is that just me, or does anyone else think that too? After years of trial and error, this is the guide that I put together so that you don't have your own big booby fashion crisis, like I did. To get the obvious out of the way, I don't wear push-up bras or any bras with padding because frankly, I have enough dough to work with. Instead, I prefer a regular t-shirt bra, and by the way, I'm a 34C or D depending on the brand. We also want to give the girls their best chance, so it'd be a shame to shove them into an ill-fitting bra. I highly recommend measuring yourself and finding your right size. All I'm saying is that if you've been to Victoria's Secret and they told you that you were a double D, just think twice, because I lived 3 years of my life thinking that I was a double D, only to face the harsh reality, and it was a huge blow to my ego. So first, big boobs are a balance problem. During the winter, I always have a hard time finding sweaters that don't make me look like the Michelin Man, which is the classic big booby fashion struggle. The reason why this happens is because all of the volume is being concentrated at the top. By volume, I'm talking about the thickness of the fabric or how much space that shirt is taking up. Since this shirt is really thick, it looks very top heavy and a little bit imbalanced. To fix this, I'm switching this out with a thinner sweater. This removes a lot of the volume problems that we were having before, and it restores some of that balance in the outfit. I'm also tucking it in because when you have big boobs and you're wearing a sweater, you can get like that tent effect, and that can also accentuate the top even more than we want to, so tucking it in solves that problem. As you can see, this outfit is a lot more streamlined and balanced. If you're putting on an outfit in the morning and you feel like you look like an ice cream cone, odds are the shirt is just too thick and has too much volume. I also want to make it clear that this video isn't about like stowing your boobs away like they're bags of stolen cocaine. This is a guide on how to style and work with your girl so that they can live their best life. My next tip is to expose the collarbone and neck area. If you cover up the neck and collarbone area, it can look very claustrophobic. So in this example, I'm wearing a top that's buttoned up all the way to the top, which looks ridiculous. It looks very claustrophobic, very cluttered in the chest area. So to solve this, I'm going to unbutton a few buttons. This allows some breathing room in the chest, it breaks up that space, and overall it looks a lot more flattering. Also, by unbuttoning, we're creating this implied V-line, and that's a lot more flattering for girls with big chest. V-necks just help break up that space and expose more of that chest area than like a crew neck would. You can also achieve this effect by wearing long necklaces. I would show you, but I don't have any necklaces because I can't have nice things, so I'm just gonna show you some pictures. My next tip is to wear a sports bra. This is a really good trick, but it's not my favorite because you have to find the right shirt that'll work with the sports bra. This works really well because the sports bra literally compresses and flattens your chest. This looks really good if you're like wearing a sweater or a t-shirt. Not so much for tank tops because sports bras have really thick straps. So my next tip is to layer a jacket, a coat, or some sort of shirt on top. So for this example, I have this dress that I bought. I really regret buying this dress on final sale because my boobs look out of control. You can see them hanging over. It's giving cow udders. It's not cute. I should have known better because on the model, she looked really amazing, but she had smaller boobs, but I was bewitched by the fabric because it's so beautiful. I could not help myself. So to fix this, I'm going to layer on this white cardigan. And what this does is it covers part of the boobs and it makes it look a lot more ambiguous and you can't see that hanging shelf effect. Layering works really well because it's balancing out that volume that you have in your chest by adding some volume to like the outer parts of your frame. My next tip is to experiment with wider leg pants or even like voluminous skirts. I really like this because it's a very simple way to rebalance an outfit. This works because you're adding volume to the bottom, which balances out the volume already at the top. I've been slowly moving away from skinny jeans because I feel like they make me look like an ice cream cone, which is funny because in middle school and high school that was all I wore. And I was like, people who wear straight jeans are weird, but now I only wear straight jeans. I feel like straight jeans or like something with a wider leg just does a way better job at balancing an outfit. I think this also is a good alternative if you have a top that you really want to wear, but you know like it's making you look a little bulky. The easiest way I found to fix this is to like put on pants with a little more volume at the leg. Some things to avoid. Whenever I see shirts with ruching around the boobs, I run for the fucking hills. I literally cannot overstate how much I hate this fucking trend. Can we please stop making clothes that have this fucking neckline? Ugh. I don't know why this has irritated me more than any other trend that I've seen or tried. I think it's because it reminds me of like having a camel toe, but except it's on your chest. So there we go. This is like a very trendy style right now. It's literally everywhere. So this might be an unpopular opinion, I don't know. I don't like how these look because that ruching effect, that texture around the boobs is bringing attention to them and it's making your boobs look bigger, which is the exact opposite of what we want if you have like bigger boobs. There's no reason for fabric to be gripping your titties like that. There's no reason. Unlike the tops that have its own exclusive section just for the boobs with added texture, this is a much better alternative because the fabric isn't gripping on your titties and making them droop. It's just laying on top of it gently, and it looks very cute. Also, I want to say that these aren't hard and fast rules. I feel like fashion rules are meant to be broken. Sometimes I might break these rules depending on the context and situation, so these are just basic guidelines I use when I'm building an outfit. My next tip is to stay away from tops or dresses with built-in cups. The reason why is because 9 times out of 10, these won't fit your boobs. The one exception I would make is if these were custom fit to your size. Here's an example of this beautiful dress, and I love this floral detail, but the one thing that irritates me about this dress is that my boobs just like don't fit in the cups, so they end up sitting underneath the cups and it doesn't look as flattering. Side note, this dress looks so cute online, but I actually wore this out and I can't move my arms more than 30 degrees, so I end up like feeling like a chicken. I don't know. The mysteries of women attire, I guess. My next tip is to avoid thick sweaters because these will make you look like a marshmallow. So some qualities I look for in a sweater are: 1, it has to have room around my boobs. So something like a more relaxed fit. It doesn't have to be oversized, but I do want some space around my chest. 2nd, I just avoid cable knit sweaters altogether. I had a cable knit sweater phase and I bought like a couple and I wore them, but I didn't really feel very good because I would look very chunky and like snowman-y. Cable knit is basically when you have like overlapping layers of knitted textures and patterns. What that means is we're adding another layer of volume on top of the torso. Instead, I look for regular knits with like somewhat of a flowy fabric. So pretty much any non-cable knit sweater will work. Thinner sweaters in general are a lot more flattering if you have a larger chest because there's less volume. It's not as top heavy. I've also been really enjoying this cardigan that I got, and I think cardigans are also something worth a try because they don't cover up your chest and like neck area as much as a sweater would. Instead, you can just leave it unbuttoned. Some brands I would be careful with, these are Urban Outfitters, Nasty Gal, and Reformation. Not all clothing from these places are bad for big chests. I've just had a harder time finding clothes that look particularly flattering. Brands that I've had a better time with finding flattering clothes would be Madewell, And Other Stories, and Everlane. So next, I want to talk about clothing that looks really flattering on big chests. So guys, let me put you on to something. Wrapped clothing, listen. Not only does the wrapped style make your titties look fantastic, but it also emphasizes your curves. I like how wrap dresses don't make me look too busty. It pretty much has like a built-in V-neck and a built-in belt. Both are great for big chests. Sometimes when I'm out and about and I'm eating, I might have like a little bit of a tummy, and I think wrap dresses do a really good job of making that less obvious. Overall, this is like such an underrated type of cut, and I think everyone should wear it. Run and buy one because I think it looks beautiful. The next thing that looks amazing if you have a big chest are cowl necklines. One time I spent like 2 hours in an Urban Outfitters trying to find a top because I was going on a date, and I went through dozens. Felt like a lot of the tops made my boobs look weird. Most of them didn't work, except for this one. This one tank top that I walked out with. It was the chosen one. Instead of hugging around your entire breast, gripping them like some necklines do, a cowl neckline drapes over your chest and just adds volume to the right places, and it looks so elegant, so beautiful. Since then, I've tried a bunch of other pieces of clothing with a cowl neckline, and it just looks amazing. It just always works. The next thing, square necklines. I've been experimenting with square necklines for the past year, and I feel like it really does work for big chests. This is an example of like a a square neckline. It's a little droopy because I have my mic attached, but they are great at downplaying the chest. It just makes my boobs look less out of control. I also really like the contrast between the sharper angles on a square neckline to like the roundness of a chest. I think it adds a lot of visual interest. My next tip is to try puff sleeves. I'm pretty vanilla when it comes to sleeves, so I'd never thought I'd see the day where I'd be wearing puff sleeves. But it actually works because puff sleeves have a lot of poof, like this, and it adds volume towards the outer parts of your frame, which balances out the volume from your chest. The next thing I want to mention is that tight clothing will inevitably make your boobs just look gargantuan. That's the nature of skin tight clothing. It's supposed to emphasize all the curves in your body. I know that's really obvious, but sometimes I wear tight clothes and I'm like, why do my tits look out of control? And it's because I'm wearing a very tight piece of clothing. I like to look for clothes that are not too tight around my boobs. It's not oversized or too big, but there's a little bit of breathing room around the chest. Wearing tight clothes is not a bad thing. If you want to do it, go for it. Look like a sexy Catwoman, go ahead. I have different moods. Sometimes I'll want to wear something more tight, but other times I just want to look like a soft girl. If I feel like wearing tight clothing that day because I want like some structure, I will almost always wear a tight layer underneath and then layer like a denim jacket or like a coat over the top so that it doesn't look too much. It's a better balance of tightness and like looseness. Women kind of want what they can't have. So like girls with bigger boobs want smaller boobs, girls with smaller boobs want bigger boobs, girls with curly hair want straight hair, vice versa. There have been times where I would think to myself like, why does this trend look so good on these other women but it doesn't look that good on me? In the word itself, it sounds like it's supposed to apply to everyone because it's a trend. I came to the realization that trends are really not a one size fits all. Not all bodies will work for every trend, and it's not because like that body is worse than all the other bodies that fit that trend, but it's just because that particular body is different. I just learned to like play to my strengths because there's always like pros and cons to like both sides. I only pay attention to clothes that I know will make me look and feel the best, and I just ignore the rest because that's just noise. I don't really believe in trying to fit myself into clothes anymore when there are an infinite number of clothes that are being made that like would look so much better on me. So that is all I have for today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.